Mike Jones, they call the plays in the zone. Spit facts, no cap, straight to the bone. Gritter, roaring gossip, the field's their home. Huddle up, press play, you're never alone. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth. Dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. NFL drama, they break it down surgical. Draft day whispers, moves so tactical. Receiver stretching arms, catches vertical. Big C's laugh hitting, vibes so magical. Mike Jones got stats like a human playbook. Big C's insight sharper than a no look. Halftime debates, better than they should. You fumble the podcast, now you misunderstood. Flags fly, refs blind, penalty stack. They calling out the calls, no sugar, just facts. Fantasy picks, who's carrying the pack? Every week they hit harder than a linebacker smack. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth. Dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test. Expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess. What's happening next? You got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a
What up, what up, what up, football fans? Welcome to another episode of Laces Out Live. I'm your host, Big C. This is brought to you by Game Changers Media. And you all know my co-host, Michael, looking good in his video Jones. How you doing tonight, Mikey?
Big C, what's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, I don't know. Don't be talking about I think my background looks good, right? That's all right.
Yeah,
Little,
good.
little,
I was just saying that. I was
little
giving you
early,
props.
early Christmas. You know, it's a little early. I usually should have waited till Thanksgiving, but I just got too excited. You know, it's just
Deck the halls.
hell yeah, deck the halls. Anyway, you have officially taken a 1-game lead in our Pickems. You went 7 of 6 last week. I went 5 of 8. So that brings us to I am at 80, 51, and 1, and you are 81, 50, and 1. So congratulations, week 10.
How we got a tie?
You take the lead. We don't have a tie. You're up by 1.
Oh, we said 85, 50, and 1 or something.
80, 51, and 1. 81, 50, and 1.
So if there's 3 numbers, that's a tie.
Yeah, I only did the tie because I that one tie, I think it was Green Bay and Dallas. I think we each picked the opposite teams, and when they tied, I just gave us each a tie. I don't.
Okay. That makes sense. I was like, wait, how the fuck we tie?
Yeah, we didn't literally.
That makes sense. I mean, that makes
all
sense.
right. I thought it made.
You can't give us a win. You can't give us. I forgot there was a tie game.
Exactly. So it's a little weird this year. I'm not
It's been a lot weird this year. A lot weird.
Too weird. That's for sure. I mean, who would have seen Seattle Seahawks where they are and Buffalo getting beat by Miami? And I don't know, man. It just seems like Buffalo just ain't got their shit together. And it's
what up, Blake? What up?
You can't even get through a season. I don't know. It's like you expect Buffalo to just have like a kick-ass season, maybe only lose 2 games, 3 games. But I don't know. I don't think Buffalo's that great, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, if you were to listen to the great Michael K, Buffalo would have went undefeated because they were favored in every game. And I was just a casual fan saying Buffalo could lose any amount of the games that they've lost. The fact
Right.
that I said that the Miami Dolphins could beat the Buffalo Bills or any other team could beat the Buffalo Bills made me a casual fan. But look where we're sitting. You know, I think this season has been absolutely a season of you have no idea what's going to happen from week to week. The best
Yeah.
teams, teams week to week, you don't know if they're going to show up or not. And that's kind of unusual. Usually these teams, certain teams dominate the regular season. Yeah, they might have a couple losses here or there, but you know, it's hard to find a favorite to come out of each conference to go to the Super Bowl. I can't put my finger on a team that I'm like, yeah, that team is definitely 100% going to the Super Bowl.
Right.
You know, and I guess that kind of makes things exciting. You know, the Miami Dolphins are sitting 3-7, and we're starting to talk about playoffs. And I know that's kind of crazy, but if you think about the next 4 games that we have, every one of those games is winnable, and that would leave us 7-7. You know what I mean? So we could be very well right in the middle of a playoff push, depending on how the next few weeks go. But I want to put a little halt on that because, you know, the Miami Dolphins games that we thought we were going to win, you know, we've got beaten by Cleveland and Carolina, and then games that we thought that we would lose, Atlanta and Buffalo, we've won. So I'm skeptical to say that these next 3 games are wins for the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, but you guys didn't just beat the Buffalo Bills. You fucking laid into them 13-30, dude. I had
did we?
I needed James Cook to get me 2 rushing fucking touchdowns, and well, halfway through that game, I was like, "Oh, this shit's over." Like it was ridiculous. And he's
the best $800 I ever lost.
Oh man, I don't know about
that game. Cost me $800.
That's a little too much.
I had to pick. I picked 5 teams last week to win. I bet $200 on it, and that's the only game that I lost.
Hey man, I'd be the same way if I had the Giants. I don't know though. That's $800, man. We ain't going there.
Madden kept looking at me like he was like, "Dad, why aren't you super happy?" I'm like, I am happy. Miami's kicking the shit out of Buffalo, and he's like, "What's wrong with you?" Like, I'm happy because I mean it was you know, I mean,
yeah,
I was stoked, but at the same time I'm thinking, damn, Christmas right around the corner, I could use that 800, man.
There you go. Yep, exactly.
I mean, like, damn. But you know, if I have to lose $800, at least it was coming at the expense of the Buffalo Bills. Man, I can't tell you how pumped I was for that win.
Oh,
that was our Super Bowl this year. You know what I mean? And I hate to put the Buffalo Bills on a pedestal like that, and you know, praise them and act like that they're our Super Bowl. But you know, beating the Buffalo Bills means an awful lot to the Miami Dolphins. It's not a regular thing. Obviously, Josh Allen was 14-2 going into this game against the Miami Dolphins. So, you know,
yeah,
it was definitely an uplifting time for the Miami Dolphins, and I was pumped, even though it left me poor.
Yeah. You know, my game was opposite. We lost by 4, but.
Well, exciting news for the New York Giants, though. I mean, you fired your head coach. What's next? You know, there's a lot of names going around. I'm hearing Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Career with the Giants.
He came out and said that wasn't happening. He's happy where he is. There's a lot of things going on. I think get through these 7 games. I don't want to start getting into the coaching stuff because the possibilities are endless. I do like that fact. And, you know, I'm hoping Joe Shane gets got rid of at the end of the season too. Like, but I mean, I think all at once, I agree, it probably would have been too much, but I think you just ripped the Band-Aid off. But Kafka's got his shot. He's got 7 games left to possibly see if maybe he retains head coach next year. You just never know. I mean, I think we'd have to win at least 4 of the last games, but you know, there's just a lot that can happen. I'm not really. I'm curious to see how much different this team looks if they change schematics, if they don't change schemes, if maybe they do 1 week kind of familiar like they have all season, and then it starts changing, or how quick Kafka gets into it. I mean, there's just a lot of questions.
I think it's hard in the middle of a season to try to change all that up. You know, I think you got to kind of go with what you've been running, and maybe you put a twist on things. But for the most part, how do you change a whole playbook? How do you change what you've been doing, what you've been practicing the whole year? Especially because the Giants have had some success this year. You know, obviously Jackson Dart's out, you know, Scadaboo's out, your top wide receivers out. So I mean, you know, I'm in a very similar, you know, the Miami Dolphins and New York Giants are in a very similar spot. You know, we got a head coach that we don't know if he's going to be here past this year. We did the opposite. We fired the GM first, which honestly, I think was the smarter move. I mean, I think Mike McDaniel has coaching ability. Do I think he's the right coach for the Miami Dolphins? I can't say that. I think Mike McDaniel is limited by the quarterback play. I'd love to be able to see what Mike McDaniel could do with a quarterback like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, someone that's not so limited. He's done great things with Tua, in my opinion. You know, I don't think Tua would have got that contract if it wasn't for Mike McDaniel, and not just because Mike McDaniel went to bat for him, but because I think he elevated Tua Tagovailoa's playing ability, his playing style. So a lot of similar things. I'm super nervous about us going on this winning streak that we could go on. We have 3 week games. We got Washington, we got the Saints, and we got the Jets all in a row. I can just see us falling down that draft board, man. And you know, I'm not a huge draft guy, but I believe in it. If you want to get a player that's a real difference maker, that top 10 is where it's at. You know what I mean? That top 10 is where it's at. And to see us slide down and, you know, still probably not make the playoffs. And even if we make the playoffs, like, honestly, are we going anywhere? You know, does it make sense to make the playoffs? I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, making the playoffs is great and all, but when against you getting a top 10 pick, I don't know I don't know if that's what's best.
Yeah, I agree. You do got a lot of stuff going. I mean, hey, if you make a run and make the playoffs, though, you make the playoffs. I mean, shit, I wouldn't be hating. But at the same time, it's like you do every win is like you're cutting a couple spots out. You don't know how many, and then you get towards the end, if you're putting together 4 or 5 in a row or 4 or 5 total, you could end up pretty far outside of that top 10. So,
well, that's my fear, is that we win 4 of the 6, and then we're sitting at, you know, we're not making the playoffs, and we're picking 18th in the draft. You know what I mean? That's a double-edged sword right there, and it sucks. Raphael, what's up? Cap, what's up? JD the Great, what's up? What's up? Thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah.
So let's get into these pick'ems. We got week 11. Tomorrow morning, got to get up bright and early as the Miami Dolphins are headed to Spain, Madrid. They are the home team. I heard that the Miami Dolphins are trying to become the Spanish football team of the world, where they're willing to start playing one home game a year abroad. Man, I try to stick up for Stephen Ross, but tell me you're more interested in making money than getting a winning football team. You know what I mean? Having a winning football team. Because you don't just give up home field games. You just don't give those up. You know what I mean? To make your team travel however many miles it is to Madrid, Spain. You know what I mean? That's taxing on a team. It's taxing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Not to mention we have a home field advantage in Miami because of the heat. If you watch that Buffalo game last week, them Buffalo Bills players were gassed. They were gassed being out there in that Miami sun with the humidity, and you know it's November. You know what I mean? It's not even It's not even September. Imagine if it was September, them guys would be out there dying.
Yep.
So the fact that Stephen Ross wants to give up a home game every year and make our players travel to Spain or wherever they want to have the games, I think that's a stupid move. And I think it shows just how much he's worried about money and expanding the brand, let alone as of winning football games and trying to build a contender. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't like when they go over there. I wouldn't want to wake up. I don't want to wake up and watch football at 9 o'clock in the morning. It just doesn't feel right either. You know what I mean? It's like you wake up, it's like you get your coffee, you have a cigarette, whatever you do, you have something to eat, get around. Then you got a couple hours to burn, and 1 o'clock, it's game time. You maybe watch a little bit of pregame while you're doing whatever, but 9 o'clock, man, that's like I ain't even awake. I'm not even awake by 9 o'clock. So I couldn't even do that, man. Like that would kill me. That would, ugh. I don't know. And plus it just, like you said, even if you have home field or you don't have home field, you go over there and it's just like a regulation game, obviously, but no home field advantage at all. And
see, Blake said it's 6:30 in the morning for him.
Yes. Yeah. Screw that. And then not even that, like you don't know. It could be a home game for you, but that stadium could be filled with people that are cheering on the other team. I don't know.
Oh, you definitely lose that. You know what I mean? You definitely lose that because to be honest, there's fans from every team at the game.
Right.
Which is cool. I'm glad they get the experience, but let them experience it with another team. You know what I mean? Why has it got to be?
Let them
why
fly
the Miami
over.
Dolphins let them do that. leave it for somebody else.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, the Miami Dolphins, they're 3-7. I'll just jump into this game because it's the first game. I know we usually leave it for last.
Okay.
Dolphins are 3-7. They're playing the Commanders that are 3-7. Commanders have been riddled with injuries. Miami's been riddled with inconsistent play. At the beginning of the season, most Dolphin fans counted this game as a L. I know I did. I thought this was going to be a rough stretch for the Miami Dolphins, starting with Baltimore, Buffalo, then Washington. Washington was a game away from the Super Bowl last year. James Daniels was an absolute monster last year. But he's been hurt for most of the season. Terry McLaurin's been hurt for most of the season. They've lost Austin Eckler, multiple players. Their defensive end is suspended for this game. Their star defensive end. Both their corners are out. Trey Amos, their rookie corner, and Marshawn Lattimore, he's out. Just so many injuries. The Miami Dolphins are favored in this game. They should win this football game.
Mm-hmm.
But again, games that Miami should have won this year, they've lost. So I'm not willing to put my money on it. I'm not willing to put the house on it. You know, I think the Miami Dolphins have a real opportunity to get this win, but it all depends on if we can take care of the football. Tua leads the NFL in interceptions. We'd like to see him improve on that. He had 2 interceptions last week against Buffalo, but they were kind of like arm punts, him just taking a chance down the field on 3rd and long. So I wasn't mad about the interceptions last week. I know that defensively we got to stop the run. Washington's averaging 4.9 yards a carry. That is 5th or 6th highest in the NFL. Yeah, 6th highest in the NFL. And the Dolphins are giving up 4.9 yards per carry, which is 5th worst in the NFL. So we got to stop the run. We got to stop the run if we want to win this football game. Devon Achane has been phenomenal for us. I think Devon Achane has another big game just with all the injuries that they got and the suspension. I think Achane continues his assault.
I say two rushing touchdowns.
I mean,
at least 2.
He's just been an absolute monster for us. Jalen Waddle stepped up. He had a receiving touchdown last week. This offensive line has played better. Tua, if he can protect the football, I think the Miami Dolphins win by 10. I like the Dolphins 24-17.
24-17.
I know that's only 7.
Hey, man, I agree. Washington's just not there. They're falling apart. I talked about that a little bit last week last week about last year, how everything just fit together for Daniels to have a perfect rookie season. I expected a season like this season to be last season, but yeah, Commanders aren't even a worry in my book. I got Dolphins winning this one 31-10. So
Nice. That's what I'm talking about, baby.
I dropped my pen. Son of a bitch. No, we're good. Yep.
He'll have less interceptions than you changing your logo to the opposite. I don't get that. Changing your logo to the opposite team we're playing every week. How does that make you a good fan?
Yeah, that's a little weird. Just to remind himself. All right, where are we going? Tampa Bay Bills. Is that what you want to do?
Sure.
6-3 Tampa Bay. Bills 6-3. Bills are giving 5.5. I mean, Buffalo, like you just talked about, Buffalo got their ass stomped by Miami. Second largest loss since 2022. Started 4-0 with 33 points per game, 1 giveaway, and now are 2-3 with only putting up 23 points per game and 8 giveaways, which is pretty crazy. I didn't check out the injury report. Is anybody coming back for Tampa? Do you know?
I don't think so. I'm not positive, but I don't think so.
Right. Obviously, the injuries have what's been really hurting Tampa Bay. I still think they're going to be a team to mess with here coming towards playoff times. Both quarterbacks are going to be coming into this game pissed, wanting to win and get back in that win column. But I got the Bills at home. I think it's going to be a close one. It could be a shootout towards the end. I got the Bills taking this one 30-27.
30-27. Listen, when Josh Allen turns the ball over more than once, the Buffalo Bills lose. If the Bucs can figure out a way to get turnovers, they can win this football game. They need to run the football. Buffalo has been terrible at stopping the run this year. They gave up 200 yards to Devon last week. The Bucs have been hit and miss. They got 6 wins. They are missing Mike Evans. That's a big loss for them.
I know. I had a trouble with this one.
Who's at home in this game?
Bills.
They're in Buffalo. Yeah, I gotta probably take the Bills. I'm gonna say Buffalo 24, Bucs 20.
Good call. Chargers 7-3, Jags 5-4. Chargers on a 3-game win streak after losing 3 of 4. Jacksonville blew a 19-point lead to Houston. Their D has not been playing that well. Chargers are trying to keep pace with Denver and stay ahead of KC in the AFC West. I don't really know. This Jags team is just they're so inconsistent. And Herbert, I think, and the Chargers are at least more consistent. They're more reliable to kind of get a feel for that. And honestly, I just think the Chargers are the better team. I think the Jags could be a better team, but I think that quarterback, I don't really like that quarterback. What do you call him? Sunshine?
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. And they're the better team. Chargers are. They've only allowed 2 offensive touchdowns in the last 3 games. So I'm going Chargers. I still think Jags keep it close, but I think this is a road victory for the Chargers, 20-17.
Woo! The Chargers got their offensive line so beat up that it makes it rough for them. Jacksonville's pass rush hasn't been that great this year, but Josh Hines Allen, he's a really good pass rusher. He's a half sack away from becoming the all-time leading Jacksonville Jaguars sack leader. I think he gets it this week. I think they get pressure on Herbert. But again, Trevor Lawrence is
he's too questionable.
Overrated, I guess. I don't know if he's even ranked that high, but he's definitely overrated. I gotta go with the Chargers in this one. 20-17.
That's my score, dickhead. All right, 3-6 Bengals, 5-4 Steelers. Steelers are giving up 5.5 points. This is the rematch. This is the old folks home rematch. Game 2. Last time Pittsburgh came up 2 points shy, and Flacco put up some points. Pittsburgh's 1-3 in the last 4 games after a 4-1 start. Bengals defense sucks, but the Bengals still put up 47 on Chicago and still lost. So it's not a matter of if the Bengals can put points on the board. Flacco's obviously feeling himself. I don't get that, but he still got it to some extent. I think the Bengals would have to put up a lot of points in this game as well. I just don't think it's going to be. I still don't think it would be enough. I think the Steelers come away with this one. They split their season series. Because I just don't see Flacco putting up 470, but I still think it's high scoring. I got Steelers 42-34.
42-34.
Yep.
Oh, this game's in Pittsburgh. Good news for the Bengals that Joe Burrow is returned to practice, so he should be back in the coming weeks. But will it matter? Will it matter? By the time he comes back, will the Bengals have anything to play for? Jamar Chase has scored 3 straight touchdowns against Pittsburgh. If he makes it 4, he'll be the first player to ever do that. I think Cincinnati upsets him again. I think they upset him again. I think this team is excited that Joe Burrow has returned to practice. I think this offense is a different beast when Joe Burrow is in the building. And they know that they need this win to keep pace in that AFC North. So I like the Bengals. Obviously, their defense is terrible, so this will probably be a high-scoring game. I don't know if it's going to be that high-scoring, though. 34-30 Cincinnati.
Gotcha.
I probably just gave you a win.
Nah. No, you might have. I doubt it. I hope so. I really do. 6-3 Chicago Bears, 4-5 Vikings. Vikings are giving 3 points. Bears 6-1 in the last 7 games after an 0-2 start, tied for first in the division, but are 0-2 in division games. So Detroit still has the edge there. Ben Johnson's Bears have been good in the fourth quarter, going 4-1 in 1-score games. The Bears, however, are missing their top 2 corners, Johnson and Gordon. But a matchup to watch still. Defensive end Montez Sweat versus Vikings left tackle Christian Darrisaw. That should be a good matchup. And Sweat has 4.5 sacks in the last 4 games, so there's that too. I think this game's going to be won and lost in the trenches. I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Bears keep it going, and I think the Bears take this over the Vikings 27-24 just because I have a hard time picking J.J. McCarthy. I have a hard time picking the Vikings. I really do. And I don't want to pick the Bears because I don't even like Caleb Williams, but I'm going Bears 27-24.
27-24. McCarthy's been the least accurate quarterback in the NFL when he plays. I could see him throwing multiple interceptions. That Vikings defense, though, sometimes is just so good. So I could see them really getting after Caleb Williams. I'm going to give it to the Vikings because they're at home. I'm going to say 21-20 Vikings.
Ooh, good one. A good one. 5-2-1 Packers at the 2-8 Giants. Obviously, Dart is out with the concussion and concussion protocol. The big change Kafka made is making Jameis Winston the starter and Russ the backup. So, I mean, there's that too. So I'm looking forward to this game. Green Bay hasn't really been playing that well. They haven't been putting up a lot of points. They just lost to a Philadelphia team where there was only 17 total points scored in the game. Some teams get a boost after they fire a coach and things change. But this is going to be a test, especially for Andrew Thomas against Micah Parsons. Winston isn't I don't know. He's not as flat-footed as Russ, but he's not as nimble as Dart. But hopefully he finds a place in the middle. He's going to take deep shots. He's going to take shots. He's going to try to put balls in windows that have no business going there. There could be some interception. There might not be some interceptions. You just don't know what you're going to get with Winston. Man, Green Bay's coming off a short week. I wanted to pick the Giants. I really did. The Packers are given 7.5 points, so I figured we could cover the spread. But even at that, I just don't see it. I just don't see it with the depth issues and still have some injuries. I got the Packers 31-20.
Wow, that's a lot of points for the Packers. Packers are trying to stop from having this be the third straight game scoring 13 points or under. This Packers offense have struggled. I think they're trying to run the football too much. They need to put the ball in Jordan Love's hands a little bit more. He's got very capable receivers. None of them are superstars, but very good receivers. But this week, they should run the ball because the Giants have struggled to stop the run. I just think with Jackson Dart being out, Jameis Winston's probably going to give up a couple. He typically gives up a couple interceptions. Listen, the guy can throw for 5 touchdowns, but he'll throw 5 interceptions too.
Yep.
I like the Packers in this one also. I'm going to say Green Bay's offense gets it going a little bit more, but not too much. 23-17.
Fair enough. 4-5 Texans at the 1-8 Titans. Texans are given 7.5 points. I don't think this is anything to really think too hard about. Texans outscored the Jags 26-0 in the fourth quarter in week 10, but Texans 24, Titans 10.
Is CJ Stroud back?
I think so. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. I'm pretty sure I've seen that he starts this week.
Well, they came back against Jacksonville last week, which was surprising. But Jacksonville, like I said, is very inconsistent.
No, he's not. He's still out. Damn.
Man.
I know. Now it made it harder.
The Texans' defense is really, really, really good. But I think Cam Ward has his best game as a pro. And I'm going to take the Titans to win at home.
Nice.
At the very end, 24-23.
I dig it. All right. 5-5 Panthers.
I probably just gave you another one. I'm giving it away this week.
That's okay. I'll take it. Give it away. I'm taking it.
Give it away. Give it away now.
5-5 Panthers at 3-6 Atlanta. Atlanta is given 3.5 points. Atlanta started season 3-2, lost 4 straight since. Both these teams are so inconsistent. This game was really a toss up in my eyes. I think Atlanta has more skill players, like a better team overall. Bryce Young hasn't thrown for 200 plus yards for 6 straight games. I don't think it starts here. I got Atlanta 26-24.
Yeah. The Saints showed how to beat the Carolina Panthers last week. You stack the box and you stop Rico from running the football.
Yep.
Bryce Young has not been able to get the ball down the field to their rookie wide receiver McMillan, who he looks phenomenal when they're able to get the ball in his hands. They just haven't been able to. Atlanta has playmakers. Atlanta plays very inconsistent lots of times, but Drake London, since coming back week 4, has the 5th most receiving yards in the NFL. He's been phenomenal. Robinson, still one of the top backs in the league. I like Atlanta in this one. I'm going to say 27-13.
Fair enough. All right. 5-4 Kansas City, given 3.5 points to the 8-2 Denver Broncos. rested. KC comes off a bye and a 28-21 loss to the Buffalo Bills. So Kansas City loses to the Bills, and then Miami comes in and beats the Bills ass the next week. So that's kind of funny. Denver just keeps finding ways to come up big at the end of the games. But this is a must win for Kansas City. They have to if they're going to make a playoff push and be serious about they got to win this game. I don't think there's any questions. I mean, obviously they don't win it, they could probably still make it in, but I don't see them coming off a week worth of rest and not catching the win. Kansas City, I think it's a tight one. Kansas City 26, Denver 23.
Yeah, I like the Chiefs too because I think the Broncos are frauds. You know, they got a phenomenal defense, but Bo Nix is not a good quarterback. I don't care what anybody says. Bo Nix is not a good quarterback in my eyes. Go back and watch the Raiders game if you don't believe me. He's just, like I said, he tries to do too much of that backyard quarterback shit. He's constantly leaving the pocket. I'm not a fan. I don't think Bo Nix will be the quarterback of the Broncos in 6 years from now. I don't think he's their franchise quarterback. I think he's had some early success, but teams catch on to that shit. Teams catch on to that backyard type of football, and he's going to get himself with his head knocked off. Someone's going to plaster him at some point. That type of football just doesn't amount to being successful. Pat Mahomes, you know, he's coming off a bye. Pat Mahomes after this week could be in the lead for the MVP voting. He's been on fire. He's been great. They got Rice back, that's been monstrous for them.
Yep.
Let me see. Oh, Pat Surtain's out again too, so that's huge.
Yep.
I like the Chiefs 27-21.
Gotcha. All right. The streaking Ravens at 4-5, giving up 8.5 points to the 2-7 Browns. Ravens have won 3 straight after a 1-5 start. Seem to be catching a rhythm. Now they're only 1 game out of first behind Pittsburgh with 2 matchups with Pittsburgh remaining. Defense has awoken. Healthy Jackson, Derrick Henry doing his thing in the backfield. The Browns D will probably keep them in this game to a certain extent. But I think Ravens pull away at the end. I got Ravens 28-16.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson's dealing with knee soreness, so they got to make sure they protect Lamar from Myles Garrett. But this shouldn't be too much of this game shouldn't be in jeopardy for the Ravens. The Ravens are the superior team. They struggled at the beginning of the year strictly due to how many all-stars were injured. This team is fighting. I think they win the AFC North when it's all said and done. I got them big in this one, 28-10.
28-10.
And Dylan Gabriel's been not good. Listen, put the ball in Shedeur Sanders' hands. See what the kid's got. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
See what he's got. See what he's got before the end of the season, before you go draft another quarterback.
How many times have people been saying that? Just put Sanders in. Like, at least see what you have with the kid. What are you going to lose? You're 2-7. I mean, get with the program, man. All right. I think this is the game of the week. This is Seattle Seahawks versus the Rams. Same records as 7-2, same 4-game win streak, slight difference in points differential, and just a slight difference in week 10 points. So I think this is going to be a great game. 4-game win streak, like I said, and for the Rams, and all 4 of them were by more than 14 points. Seahawks last 2 games, they've led 28 points to start the game, and then they led, I think it was like 36 points before the other team scored in the next game. These 2 teams are dangerous. I really think this can go either way, but I got the Hawks upset in the Rams 27-26. This is my upset of the week game. Seattle takes the dub.
Oh, this is a tough game. Matthew Stafford's been playing phenomenal. 25 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Right now, he probably is the leader as far as MVP goes.
Yes,
Jackson Smith in the Jigma, he's been phenomenal. He leads the NFL in receiving yards. I'm glad I got him on my fantasy team. Man, this is a tough game. This is probably the game of the week. I'm gonna pick. Yeah, it's tough.
I wanted to pick the
go.
Rams. I like Stafford.
I'm going with the Rams just because if I gotta pick in a big game, who I'm going with, Sam Darnold or Matthew Stafford. I'm taking Matthew Stafford every single time. So, but I think this is a very good game. I'm going to say 31-28 Rams.
Nice. Yeah, this is a hard one. That's why I made it my upset of the week. I figured, I mean, the Rams are only favored 2.5 points, but I like Stafford too. 9 times out of the 10, I'm going to pick Stafford. So I feel that. I just think it's going to be a good game. I really do. And plus Seattle's like put up 82 points in the last 2 games. So can't argue that, but I can't really say much because Stafford's throwing touchdowns galore. So, and like you said, I think he is that MVP in the head for that right now. 49ers 6-4 against the Cardinals 3-6. Niners are giving up 2.5 points. 49ers just have more talent. They're 3-4 since their 3-0 start, but Brissett maybe better than Murray, but I mean this Cards team just isn't good. I don't trust them. I think Purdy is back this week, if I heard correctly. So I mean, there's that. They just got to get the ball to Kittle and Juan Jennings and McCaffrey, and I think 49ers take this one on the road 28-20 over the Cards.
Yeah, I like San Francisco too. Since Fred Warner's been out, though, they've been tight end. They've been out. Other teams have been out of the attack with their tight ends. Mm-hmm. I think that the Cardinals got one of the league's most underrated tight ends in McBride. I think he's a superstar. Jacoby Brissett's been decent. So much so that he probably stole Kyler Murray's job, right? Yeah. But I agree with you. I think there's just, Christian McCaffrey's too much for this team. And if you're getting Brock Purdy back this week, if there's one thing that Brock Purdy is that he's a consistent player and he's a game manager and he can win you football games. He can go out there and not lose you football games. And I think this is a game that San Francisco would have to lose, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. Can only beat yourself. What you got for a score?
I'm going to go 23-16.
All right, moving into another game of the week, Sunday night football. 6-3 Lions at the 7-2 Eagles. Eagles are only giving up 1.5. Philly 3 straight after 2 straight losses. I think Detroit's the better team, but Philly is number 1 seed in the NFC right now. They're defending champions. There's always A.J. Brown talk. There's just a lot of distractions. But, I mean, they can kill you. They do have the receiver core for Jalen to go off. Man, the Lions have had trouble running up the middle. And Goff's had to do more passing. But the Eagles they added Jalen Phillips in that deadline trade. So their pass rush is a lot better. I seen that last week. This was a toss up. I hate picking the Eagles. I hate it, but I think at home it's going to be a cold one. I think the Eagles take this one 31-29. This was a tough one. I didn't want to pick the Eagles.
Yeah, last week the Eagles defense looked different. They looked better with the return of Nolan Smith and the addition of Jalen Phillips. They were able to pressure Jordan Love quite a bit. Jared Goff isn't a very good quarterback when getting pressured. He struggles. The cold weather. This is more of a finesse team, I would say, offensively. So I think this battle in the cold in Philadelphia favors the Eagles because they're more of I feel like a punch in the mouth type team, a strong running team that plays strong defense. So I see the Eagles winning this football game. You know, teams are going to expect the Eagles to win it by running the football. I think A.J. Brown has a big game just because he's been out there running his trap. And typically when A.J. Brown runs his mouth, he comes out the next game and they force feed him the ball and he has 9 catches for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. So it'd be smart to start A.J. Brown. I know A.J. Brown out there saying, trade me if you got me on fantasy. Trade me, you know what I mean? Trade me away.
I think I'd go Devontae Smith getting 2 touchdowns this week. Like, I would be so tired of this dude. I would force feed the ball to the beer guy in the stands before I gave it to AJ Brown, just because of how annoying that shit is.
I agree. I wouldn't feed into his bullshit sitting there crying. He wasn't crying. He was cheesing pretty hard when he was holding that Super Bowl trophy.
Yeah, exactly.
But the fact is, when he complains like that, the Eagles go out and they force feed him the ball. They do. So I would not be surprised if he had 8 grabs, 150 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's supremely talented. And should the Eagles use him more? Probably. They probably should. You know, I can't say that I wouldn't be mad if I was a superstar receiver getting 2 balls thrown at me a week. You know what I mean?
Right.
No matter how much winning you're doing, you know what I mean? And people can say, no, that's bullshit. I mean, come on. Who wants to sit there and run routes all day long, blocking the running game constantly and not be rewarded? Yeah, it's nice to win. It is nice to win. But at the same time, I want to play too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real. You want to be a part of that.
Yeah, can I get some love? So I think the Eagles win this football game. 27-24.
27-24.
AJ Brown 2 touchdowns.
AJ Brown. Okay, Devontae Smith 2 touchdowns. All right, we're moving into Monday night. Last game of the week. 3-5-1 Cowboys, 2-7 Raiders. Cowboys are giving up 3.5 points. Cowboys' first game since getting Quinnen Williams and Logan Wilson. Las Vegas is 2-7 back-to-back seasons. Bowers is back, but I don't think that's enough. Cowboys have won their last 5 Monday night road games. They just put up points. I like Pickens. I wish we had a guy like Pickens right now in the Giants, but I think Pickens has a pretty decent game. I'm taking the Cowboys 37-17, not even close.
Yeah, what Raiders team shows up? The Raiders against the Broncos, they looked really good. Although they weren't getting the ball the Bowers like they should. I think Dallas's defense, our offense is going to be too much. I think Quinnen Williams is a huge addition for the Dallas Cowboys defense. We'll see what it looks like. But Quinnen Williams is one of the top 10 defensive linemen in the league, I feel like. Definitely a top 5 defensive tackle. So we'll see what that new defense looks like. But you're right. The offense is just going to be too much for this Raiders D. I like the Cowboys 27-13.
Big C. Okay, so that gives us we went the same way on all the games except for Chicago and Minnesota, Bengals and Pittsburgh, Seattle and Rams, and did I miss one? Houston and Tennessee. So we went opposite directions on all 4 of those.
Yeah, I think I gave you a couple this week. That's all right.
Yeah, but I might have gave you some back. And you can, the thing about it is this year has been so insane that I don't think technically you or me would be giving each other anything because just from week to week, it's like this league has been
Well, I
so
mean,
crazy.
I mean, I took a 1-win team against a team that's probably in the playoffs right now, and then I took a 2-win team against a team that's leading their division. So I don't know if you gave me the same kind of love.
I guess I should have.
I don't know how so even it is. Yeah, you took this. I know your long shot of the week, Seattle over the Rams.
Upset
you know
of the week. It's upset of the week.
Yeah,
I guess I should have went.
Such an upset.
If I knew you were gonna pick like that, I probably would have said screw it and picked the Giants over Green Bay. To be honest with you, but I think the Giants could win the Green Bay game. I haven't been impressed with Green Bay, so.
I mean, Green Bay lost to Cleveland. You know, Green Bay has struggled.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like every time I've been Giants bandwagon. I don't usually pick against them. I haven't been picking against them ever since Dart came in, and I just keep doing it. I'm not doing it this week, and this will be the week because Winston will be playing. So this will be the week something weird happens and the Giants sneak one. So it might be that funny one. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
your Dolphins should get another win though.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. Like, I love to see them win, but at the same time, like I said, we're gonna keep falling down that draft board. That hurts. Yeah. That hurts because we're not a team that can compete for a Super Bowl right now. We're not. So to miss out on the prime draft picks next year, it's gonna suck. And it seems like Miami's always stuck in that purgatory area where, you know, we're at pick 13 to 18, you know what I mean? And we always miss out on the top talent. Top talent, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I can understand that.
I feel like the Miami Dolphins have a real opportunity with the replacing of Chris Greer to build this team for the future. I laid out a little plan that I think, you know, obviously we're not going to be competing next year. Chances are we're going to have to keep Tua. You know, and Tua can still win us football games. Don't get me wrong. But I think you keep Tua next year. I would keep Mike McDaniel one more year. I would play the year out. I'd go into this season, into this draft, not worrying about drafting a quarterback. I think there's only one quarterback that's really worth the first round draft pick, and that's Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback out of Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't press for a quarterback. That's where you mess up. You know what I mean? When you force a quarterback. First off, there's 3 or 4 teams ahead of us in the draft standings right now that need a quarterback. So what are you going to get, the 5th best quarterback in the first round?
Right.
That's a recipe for disaster. If you try to press that. So I would draft best players available this year, along with your draft class last year. The young talent that you already got on the team, the Achans, the Waddles, you know, and then in 2027, you're able to move on from Mike McDaniel if you want. You're liable to move on from Tua if you want. If you're moving on from them guys, it's probably because we had a bad 26. You use your draft capital, you move up, you get the quarterback you want. You can hire whatever head coach you want because it'll be an attractive job.
Right.
You have these coaching candidates and be like, all right, this is the talent we have on this roster, which there should be quite a few talented young guys. And you get to pick your quarterback here in South Florida, where there's no state income tax. You know what I mean? The weather's beautiful. And I think we can be competing as early as 2027. Not to mention, once Tua comes off the books, you got $150 million in cap space. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think 2027 is the goal year for Miami to really be able to put it together and perhaps be real contenders for a Super Bowl.
Yeah. I'd have to agree. I just can't wait. I can't wait. I'm hoping both of our teams by 2027 are really good teams. So our show and podcast would just be, I just feel like we'll be so much more light. It's hard to be light when you like you only got 3 wins and I only got 2 wins. It's really hard when that's your teams. It's very tough, but you know, I have hope. I have hope, and it would be really. I think it would be really cool if by, like you said, 2027 we can have 2 really good teams in Miami and the Giants. So I think it would
Well, I
make all
mean,
the
I think
difference.
I think the Giants could be really good next year. I mean, you showed that you can win football games this year. Jackson Dart will have another. He'll have that rookie experience under his belt. Hopefully, Cam Scatterbo can come back healthy. Hopefully, Neighbors comes back healthy. Yeah, add another wide receiver.
Mhm.
Maybe a piece or two on defense, another offensive lineman, and I think you guys could be really, really good next year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about staying healthy and the depth of our team. It's like once our corners go, the backups are shit. It's like so we're screwed. So if them guys are hurt, then we don't have nobody to replace these guys with, and that's the problem. We just don't have good replacements or even mediocre replacements. So
Well, see, you got a young quarterback. That means, he's on that rookie deal, which means you got a lot of money to spend in other areas. You know what
right.
I mean? You got your top player. I mean, your top quarterback is on a rookie deal. Your top running back, rookie deal. Your top
Mhm.
receiver, rookie deal. So none of these guys are making that $30 million a year, $50 million a year. So that's all money you can put into the rest of the team. That's how successful teams do it. Look at the Commanders last year. You had a rookie quarterback. You were able to, put money into the team. That's what they were trying to do this year. They were
Yep.
they just got
Suck.
slammed with injuries. You know what I mean? There's nothing
Yeah,
you
but
can do about that.
it does suck. It does suck. I don't know. It's a frustrating thing. It really is. It's like you don't want to watch football. I mean, I don't sometimes. Now Dart's not even playing this week, so I'm a little bummed about that. I don't know. I think they're giving Dabo a little too much. They gave him too much shit about getting Jackson hurt. I don't think he got Jackson hurt. I think Jackson got himself hurt. And last week's game against Chicago, there were so many times he made the right decisions and he literally slid. He slid multiple times in that game. And I think in that situation when he was running that run option to the left, he had guy in front of him, guy on both sides of him. Like, what are you gonna do if he just kind of went forward and it was unfortunate. It
Well, did you
happens.
watch Did you see Jackson Dart's little thing that he did with John Gruden last year?
No, I didn't see that.
You go back and watch that. John Gruden does this thing with all their young quarterbacks,
Okay.
and he has them come in and he'll talk football with them, and then he goes out and has them throw passes and shit
Okay.
and run
I'll check.
offenses. But they were watching game film with Jackson Dart. He's like, if you're my quarterback, he showed a play, and he's like, you know what they're going to be saying? They're going to be pulling Jackson Dart off, putting him in the blue tent, saying he got a concussion because he showed a play that he straight got his head taken off because he didn't go down.
Right.
He's like, that's exactly what they're going to be saying to me. And looky.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what I mean though. I think because a lot of people were trying to say, "Oh, it was Brian's fault. He got hurt." I don't believe that. I think that
Why?
I
Because
think
you're having your athletic quarterback run the football? Like, come on.
yeah,
That's what you do.
exactly. And like I said, I seen it last week. He slid 4 times at least in that game, and just that one unfortunate time. I mean, it happens. I mean, look at it. Just happens. You could keep him safe. He could play out of the pocket the whole game, and still get a concussion. So I don't know. Do I think Dabo has his issues? Yes. I think he had a power trip. I think he was a certain way with coaches around him. And I think he was in the process and he was thinking about taking play calling from Kafka. I just think everything was going down the shitter and he was by himself. Honestly, I mean, Mara and Joe Shane even said, like, you put Dart in, this is your decision. And they didn't want to take credit for that. They put it all on him. So, I guess does he have the right to be an ass? Yeah, I guess kind of, but obviously something wasn't working. We need a guy in there. We need a leader. We need a leader, a head coach in there. Somebody who's not going to take no shit. Like, we don't need a guy that's straight up hard ass, but like, you need to make it known that if you come to play for this team, you better be playing because there shouldn't be the shit like Deontay Banks who sits here and every time he comes into a game, the secondary just falls to shit. And, you know, we got a guy, Jalen Hyatt. He's on the team. I think he's only been in a couple games. He suited up. He takes a roster spot and he just sits over on the sideline. Like, what are you doing? And that's part of the roster building that I've taught they have issues with. Like, just because you picked him and you thought he was going to be something and you feel embarrassed to get rid of a guy, like, get the hell out of yourself. Like, get him off the team and put somebody else on the team. Like, it's not that big deal. We elevated Lil Jordan Humphrey for his 3 elevations to play in these games. We didn't elevate him last week, and then he ends up getting taken. I can't remember where he went, but he ended up getting picked up by another team. So it's like, was he great? No, he wasn't great, but he was solid. He had a good, decent game for us, I think, in New Orleans or whatever it was. But, you know, it's just the decisions that are being made, wasting roster spots and just guys that are out sitting there on the sideline that they're suited up, but they're never going to see the field. Like, why? Why continue to do that kind of stuff? Banks, yeah, you might have got him in the first round and you had high hopes for him, but he didn't turn into that. Evan Neal, same thing, offensive lineman. You got him out there and he's suited up, but he never plays. He takes up a roster spot. Like, it's bad team management. That's all it is. And that's what bothers me the most. Those are 2 spots right there. So
Yeah.
Hopefully this coach change and all this stuff will make a big difference. And hopefully we start to see that.
Hopefully.
Oh, I got a hole in my shirt. What the?
All right, folks. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Laces Out Live
with Mike Jones. And Big C.
Big C. Yeah.
Big
You
cat.
like that shit, don't you? Yeah.
Big cat.
All right, guys. 9 a.m. tomorrow. Dolphins, Commanders in Madrid.
Holler.
Miami looking for a 2-game win streak.
Let's
Let's
go.
go. We'll see y'all later. Thank you for tuning in. And you know what it is. Always, forever.
Go.
Big C and Mike Jones, they call the plays in the zone. Spit facts, no cap, straight to the bone. Gritter, roaring gossip, the field's their home. Huddle up, press play, you're never alone. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth. Dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this is the spot. NFL drama, they break it down surgical. Draft day whispers, moves so tactical. Receiver stretching arms, catches vertical. Big C's laugh hitting, vibes so magical. Mike Jones got stats like a human playbook. Big C's insight sharper than a no look. Halftime debates, better than they should. You fumble the podcast, now you misunderstood. Flags fly, refs blind, penalty stack. They calling out the calls, no sugar, just facts. Fantasy picks, who's carrying the pack? Every week they hit harder than a linebacker smack. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth. Dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to